For record-keeping purposes, if you wish to make a statement regarding any item on the agenda, please complete the form located at the entrance or at the rear of the council chambers and deposit it with the Planning and Housing Commission Secretary. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Planning and Housing Commission meeting. Commissioner Sherman will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Communications from the public. Persons wishing to address the Planning and Housing Commission are requested to state their name for the record. This portion of the agenda is intended for public comment. State law prohibits the Planning and Housing Commission from discussing or taking action on items not listed on the agenda. The Planning and Housing Commission will appreciate your cooperation in keeping your comments brief. Please observe a 3-minute limit to communications. Ms. Capilla, did we receive any speaker cards or written comments from the public for any items not on the agenda?
No, Chair, we did not receive any speaker cards nor written comments.
Thank you. Our next item is election of a chair. Will the Planning and Housing Commission Secretary please begin the nominations?
Thank you, Chair Sequilin. Nominations are now in order for the office of Chair.
I would like to nominate Commissioner Woody for chair.
Do we have a second on the nomination?
I'll second.
I'll have you vote now. All in favor, say aye.
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 Was accepted. So the record will reflect Commissioner Woody as chair for this 2023 year, with a motion by Commissioner Alexander and seconded by Vice Chair Sherman. The position will be effective July 24th, 2023. Congratulations, Commissioner Woody. Chair Sequilin, you may conduct the nominations for the office of Vice Chair now.
Thank you. So moving to elections for Vice Chair, do we have a nomination for that position?
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Vernon, please.
And do we have a second?
I'll second.
Great. And if a please vote, are we a manual vote tonight? All right, if you please state your vote. Aye.
Aye.
Great. And the motion will reflect that for 2023 finish year, we'll have Vice Chair would be Commissioner Marie Vernon. Congratulations. I should have had you do the Pledge of Allegiance tonight too, then you would have been able to do it all. All right, moving on to our meeting minutes. Approval of minutes for the Planning and Housing Commission meeting. Oh,
Sorry, Chair, I just wanted to clarify for the matter of the record that the Chair Woody would take effect at the next meeting. Chair Woody would sit in at the next meeting as chair,
Right.
just for the record. Thank you.
thank you, Mr. Eastman. And so meeting minutes, approval of minutes for the Planning and Housing Commission meeting of June 26, 2023. Ms. Capilla, did we receive any speaker cards or written comments from the public regarding the June 26 minutes?
No, we did not.
And as such, do we have a motion for approval of those minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes from the Planning and Housing Commission meeting of June 26, 2023.
And a second?
I second.
And note that Commissioner Alexander provided the second. If we'd please vote manually. Oh, we are voting now. And the minutes of June 26 passes. No consent items this evening. Moving to public hearings. Public hearings are items that have been publicly advertised for review and consideration by the Planning and Housing Commission. The first public hearing item is for CUP 2023-0002, a conditional use permit application to develop 50 apartment units on a 2.96 acre located on the west side of Temescal Canyon Road and on the north and south sides of Fashion Drive in the commercial designation of the Dos Lagos Specific Plan. Applicant is Pat Tritz of Rexco Development. Ms. Choi, our associate planner, will present this item. Ms. Choi, we're glad to hear from you.
Thank you, Chair. Before us tonight is a conditional use permit request for the development of 50 apartment units within the Dos Lagos Specific Plan area. The project site is located within Planning Area 1, and it has a commercial destination zoning. Within the commercial destination zoning, a residential use is subject to conditional use permit request, and this is the reason why the project is before this commission for site development review. Before we go into the project itself, I would like to provide a brief overview of the Planning Area 1's development since 2016. Within the Planning Area 1, the proposed site is the only vacant pad that is available today. The site was previously approved within Planning Area 1 again, was previously approved with what the applicant considered as Toronto Phase 1 development, which consists of 276 residential units, and these residential units are along the west side of the Planning Area 1, which is along the Interstate 15 freeway. Additionally, in 2018, the city granted the entitlement for a larger commercial project, and that project included a four-story hotel, which consists of 101 guest rooms, a gas station with a convenience store, and a drive-through car wash. These two elements are currently in operation. Back in 2018, the city also approved additional area for restaurant use, including a drive-through area and additional retail space. These two components of the project that were previously approved were not built. And today, the applicant is requesting to replace these commercial area with the 50 units residential use. Here we are seeing the previous approved site plans. You see indicated number 1 is the location of the current hotel building, which is located along the north portion of the project site. And indicated as number 2 is the existing gas station with the drive-through car wash and the convenience store. And on the upper portion of the slides, you see the Toronto Phase 1 project, which provides for numerous apartment buildings that consists of 276 units. The proposed project before us today involves 2 building pads, one along the north side of Fashion Drive and the other one along the south side. Along the north side, the developer is requesting to construct 4 buildings consisting of 20 units. These buildings will be 2 stories tall. It will have individual garages, additional carport spaces. On the south side of the project, there will be 3 buildings, 2 of which will be 3 stories high, and within these 3 buildings, there will be 30 units. In total, the project is requesting to construct 50 units. The project meets the parking requirements of 90 parking spaces that are covered, some of which are provided under carports, and 10 additional gas parking spaces that are in the open. The project is accessed from Temescal Canyon Road. As you enter the project site, there is Fashion Drive dividing the north and the south portion of the project. As you enter at the end of Fashion Drive, visitor can either turn left or turn right to either north or the south part of the project. From there, both project sites are gated. The applicant did indicate that the gates will remain open during the daytime and it will only be closed at nighttime during evening hours for security purposes. For the residents that reside at these two locations, there are pedestrian gates available next to the driveway gates if they simply need to leave their residence and conduct shoppings or other activity within the Dos Lago area, so they would not need to take their vehicle to other part of the shopping center. The proposed architecture is very similar to the existing residential project to the west, which is the Toronto Phase 1 project. It is a very contemporary design with flat roof, streamlined exterior features. It emphasizes pop-in and pop-out features like facade articulation to reduce the building's massing, and all of the entrance to the units are recessed. Additionally, each unit is provided with private open space in the form of either a balcony with metal railings, or some of the units are provided with open space within the ground level's patio area next to the entrance. So this is a rendering of the proposed building D. This particular design will be along the south side of the project site. This is a 3-story design. In terms of colors and exterior material, again, it is very similar to the existing residential development to the west. The applicant is using strong color contrast to provide to emphasize the modern design and the streamlined elements of the project. It is also compatible with the hotel project to the north as well in terms of building forms and placement. This use of material will further enhance the residential component within Planning Area 1. For multifamily residential projects, city codes require site amenity to be provided at a ratio of 100 square feet per unit. So this project is providing outdoor recreational amenity within the circles area. These areas are circled in red on the screen. They include a pickleball court and 3 other areas that are dedicated for open grass area for residents to put their lawn chair out there, enjoy the weather, or walk the dog in the area. And additionally, the applicant also provided that both residents of both the Toronto Phase 1 project and this project will have reciprocal access to the amenity provided on site. So just for reference, the residential project to the west has a half basketball court, also has a swimming pool, barbecue islands, and a fitness center as well. So residents will be able to enjoy amenity to the west and vice versa for existing residents in the other project as well. The applicant is proposing to install steel fencing along the perimeter of both sites. Additionally, sliding gate and swing gates will be provided as a security measure. Again, these gates will remain open during the daytime just to ensure that traffics are not being disrupted along Fashion Drive. However, will be closed at nighttime for security reasons. With this, I conclude a staff report. Staff is recommending that the commission adopt the addendum to the adopted mitigated negative declaration, which previously evaluated the overall commercial project from 2018. At this time, staff is stating that the proposed residential project is a minor modification to the previous project that were reviewed, and based on technical studies submitted by the applicant that includes greenhouse gas, traffic, noise, health risks, and air quality, it indicates that the proposed project will not produce any new impact or impact that are significantly increase from the previous evaluation. So staff has provided the attached addendum for your consideration. Staff is recommending that the commission approve the conditional use permit request and adopt the resolution before you. Thank you.
Ms. Choi, thank you for the report. And before we move to public comment, for the commission, any questions for staff? No?
I'll ask a question. So, thank you for the presentation and the report. I noticed one of the details of the report talked about the parking requirements, and that this project, I guess, underwent the initial review prior to the revisions that the commission and the council had recommended. So one of the questions you kind of did explain the difference between the current and the previous. But one thing I'm not remembering, and I was hoping you could clear up for me, the guest parking spaces, what the requirement is for that.
The guest parking spaces is one space for every 5 units. So for this project, the project is required to provide 10 guest parking spaces.
All right, thank you. I don't think I have any questions anymore yet.
We'll go ahead and move to public comment. So I'm going to go ahead and open public comment for this item. Ms. Capilla, did we receive any speaker cards or written comments from the public?
We did not.
All right, so bringing it back as such to the commission, we'll go ahead and close public hearing. Open for further comments or questions or a motion on the item.
Chair, I had a question. I was wondering if the applicant could come up. I had a question for him. Open public. Yeah.
I think he's here. Mr. Tritz?
Good evening, everybody. Patrick Tritz, Rexco. You guys kind of know me, I think.
Good evening. Thank you. I wanted to ask, there was a comment regarding the building Ds on the south, and those would be assigned garages or carports upon lease agreement?
Yeah,
How does that work?
every unit has its own attached garage, walk-in attached garage. There's a garage with every unit out there. Some have 2-car garages, some have single-car garages. The carports to make up the difference would be assigned as necessary. But we have excess. What the downside of the carport thing is it's almost discourages guests from parking underneath them because they think they're all assigned, although they're not. And we have 124 spaces. We exceed the minimum parking by quite a bit.
Okay, thank you.
I should note, that is under public comment, so I'm going to open public comment since you had a question for the applicant. Anyone else have an applicant question?
So did you just say that there's a total of 124
Yes.
spaces?
Yes.
Okay, I guess I missed that in the,
Yeah, it's on the front page of the site plan. There's 57 garages, 33 carports, 22 open, and 12 parallel on the street. The parcel line for that project is the center of that spine road. So they're always unassigned parking out there also.
so some of the units don't have garages assigned that are connected, or,
Correct. The 3 stories don't have a connected garage. Obviously, all the townhomes do.
right?
And then the ground floor units of the 3 stories have connected garages, and there's, assigned garages for the rest. So there's 1 garage for every unit, or minimum.
Actually, I have one more question, Chair.
I think.
Okay, I have
Oh,
a
go
question.
ahead, Marie.
Had one.
I wanted to ask what is the capacity for the pool area? Because the understanding is that tenants in the other sections can also access that. I only saw 1 pool area, so what's the capacity for at any given time, like the holiday?
Well, when we own of course, we own the other Toronto project, and the pool there was oversized to allow for 300-plus units when we designed it. And we've never had an excess amount of use of it. It's a very large pool area over there, pool and spa, and then a very good-sized weight room also attached. And so we own the whole thing, and they're going to be managed, the same management company, the leasing offices in Toronto One, it's all managed out of it, like one big project.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes, so both the Phase 2 and the Phase 1 are gated communities. The gates will be locked during the evenings. How do guests or residents of 2 make their way over to 1 to use their amenities after hours?
The card reader system that they have in there, the fob system works for them, and they also have card readers in their vehicles.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
I'm wondering, so we're talking about the first phase, which is, built out, and then this would be a smaller second phase. Was there any consideration into sort of putting the two, I guess, kind of making them a little more cohesive, because right now you have the road that bisects the two developments.
That spine road was always part of the initial Dos Lagos project, which is they have an access easement from the shops to the Wyrick. So we can never close that road or do anything with it.
Okay, that's the intention of it.
That's why we couldn't do it. We'd love to.
I had a question in I think the original site plan, or Exhibit 2 in the current site plan. The parking that's immediately behind the hotel, is that solely for the hotel use?
Now, the hotel has 6 more parking spaces than the minimum required, so those were never assigned. The ones on the street, they were always just kind of extra stalls.
But that lot is, intents and purposes, the hotel parking lot?
On the Spine Road side of it?
Yes, the one that abuts Temescal Canyon Road.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And, we have ownership of the hotel also, so it's all part of the Rexco stuff.
So you have the whole block?
We got it.
Okay. Any further questions for the applicant? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we'll go ahead and close public comment, bring it back to the commission for any final comments or a motion.
I have a few comments. I really like the Exhibit 4, that is the current site plan, and the notation. I thought it was very interesting with the residential project summary, and where it talks about the apartment unit mix. I thought it's a good combination where the plans, there's 25 of the 1 bedroom, 20 of the 2, and then of the 3 bedroom, 5 of those. And it's just a good mix with the way that the 1 and 2 stories. I thought table A and B in the staff report was well done. It gave me a really good idea of the layout of the community between the flats and the townhomes. It was very well thought out. I like the idea that they're both gated and they have shared amenities. And I think it's no secret that I wasn't a fan. I'm not a fan of Toronto One as far as architecture goes. But I thought that the applicant did a really good job with transitioning away from the Mediterranean to the modern, and yet it still blends in with the hotel architecture. It's close enough to the Plan 1 where it's a cohesive unit. It's a second phase, and yet it stands out on its own with the articulation. So I did like that change was in there. I can appreciate the change in the marketplace, so why the CUP is being sought out in the units, 50 units. Some would think that the retail would have been a good mix over there, another destination things to go to, but considering what's happened since 2016, the original precise plan, I'm in favor of granting the CUP.
I'll just add on my comment. I would agree with Commissioner Alexander. I think it's a good next step for the location. It's updating the facades of the existing Toronto one and making them fresher, but also making it cohesive. It almost seems like when you look at the site plans, this probably was Plan B 7 or 8 years ago when this was all worked out. So, and I think the applicant did a very nice job of providing the right documentation with the various consultant teams that were provided. So I'm in favor of the application as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, I'll echo what you say. It's about as good as they could probably do here. You know, I would have liked to have seen it all kind of tied in, maybe, you know, a wall connecting, you know, blocking the traffic along that interim street, but it sounds like that's not a possibility given the overall Dos Lagos plan. So, but yeah, I think it's about as good as it could probably be here, short of having more parking.
Do we have a motion for the application?
I'll make a motion to approve the CUP.
I'll second.
And we have a second provided by Commissioner Sherman. And please vote. And the application and motion passes. Moving on to written communications. Has the Planning and Housing Commission Secretary received any written communications from persons providing information or seeking action by the Planning and Housing Commission?
We have not, Chair.
Thank you. Administrative reports. Mr. Eastman, welcome to the dais.
Thank you. I hope you all had a good 4th of July. I have nothing to report at this time.
Okay, great. Thank you. Fellow Planning and Housing Commissioners, any reports or comments?
I have a comment. I'd just like to thank you, Chair, for your 2.5 years. You've been a great leader. You've been able to round us and hurt us when we weren't hurtable. We are on different pages, and I think you bring a good consensus to the group. So thank you for your hard work.
Great. Thank you. And I look forward to continuing to serve the commission and welcome our fellow chair and vice chair. Next one's yours. All right. Future agenda items, we do have the continued item, which is the variance 2022-001. That is calendared for the future item. We have to keep this on here until it is set with the date. So it is an open public comment item.
I just would ask the planning manager, are we on track to that item to come before us? And
Yeah, I do not anticipate that it will be heard at the next meeting, to be honest with you. I have not had any communications with the applicant. I was out until last week, so I was not at the meeting. But in my conversations with the senior planner last week, end of last week, we think that the project probably needs to move forward to another date. We are waiting for the applicant to respond, so it's really in the applicant's court. We will keep you apprised, though.
So it'll be probably listed at the next meeting as a future agenda item. All right, with that, adjourning tonight's meeting, we'll see you all on Monday, July 24th. Thank you. Good night.